STP. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading in series number 2. It's going to be EF versus NetWars. We have some incredible players going up against each other, but before we get into them, let's introduce the format for anyone new to the STPL. All the series are best of 5. All the games are played regardless of the outcome, which means we will see all 4 games regardless of if it's a 4-0 or something like that. Lineups are selected in advance and all the games are played at the same time, so they do get preparation time against their opponents. Game 5, if we make it, is the ace match, which means anyone from the clan war or anyone in the clan can compete again, but usually it'll be someone who's played in the clan war that day. Now we've got Hitchhiker, Monty Hall SE, Core Breach, Tripod, Andromeda, Byzantium 3, Fancy 2, and La Mancha. We've had some good maps, some good games so far, but let's introduce our next couple of teams. Starting us off is going to be Eternal Friends. Now, Eternal Friends are killing it this season. They beat White Clan before they disappeared from the tournament, and overall are just a very, very strong South American Korean mixed team. Their main roster at the moment is these 4 players right here. We've got Gosudark, Cruzago, Terra, and Shaylin, all of them incredibly good in their own right, and Gosudark and Cruzago have done a very, very good job so far. So it's kind of cool to see how they've been doing. And their opponents are up against the powers of Poland, the Polish resistance here of NetWars. NetWars are a very, very strong team. Zoom not doing as well so far in the STPL. But Ziggy, Koga ranked 3 in the STPL overall, and Yeti ranked in the top 10 as well, are very, very good players. Their all-time record is one of the only foreign teams to be on a positive win-loss ratio in matches. And Ziggy, you need to send me the photo before I can put a photo in. I double-checked, and 100% you never sent me a photo before. There was never a photo in Season 1. I even checked one of the old VODs. It's kind of funny. But it's really cool. NetWars a great clan. Looking forward to seeing how that's going to go. Let's have a look at the matchups we're going to have today. We're starting off with a PvZ. Then we're going to go into a PvT. Then we're going to have a TBT between Terra and Koga, which should be amazing. And then we're going to have a ZVP. So no PvP in this matchup. No PvP in this matchup at all. And apparently someone's saying something about Kogat's win streak. Am I missing something? Let's just quickly go back here. I think the letters are around the wrong way. I'll fix that. Yeah, it should be LW rather than WL. There's been a few things like that in the overlay that are just, it's really hard to notice. So thank you for pointing that out. Starting us off, we're going to have Gosudark for EF. He's done pretty well so far in the STPL. 4-1 with his only loss being against Scan is very, very impressive. You can see where Scan is so high yellow. He only lost 8 as well, which is kind of good. But let's have a look at his opponent. It's one of the newer players for NetWars. Only 2 games so far against 2 of the strongest Terrans on their respective teams, Scan and Yes Man. So Zoom hasn't really had a chance to show too much so far. but hopefully we'll get a good game from him here. As we're getting into the first map of the evening, it's going to be Byzantium 3. Now, Byzantium 3, a very fun map in all of the matchups. EVP, we've only had one so far, which was a very quick game. Let's hope for a little bit of a longer one as we get into series number 2 of today. Okay, the game has begun, and in the top left-hand corner, fighting for EF, we have Goes Too Dark. And in the other corner, fighting for NetWars, we do have Zoom in the green. Now, if anyone ever notices anything wrong with the overlay, either PM me on Team Liquid, message me on Twitch directly, or PM me on Twitter or something, because the stuff that passes by in chat, I have a very hard time remembering. So it's better to just message me somewhere where it's more good.
Support QIKZ, get them donations in there.
Oh, thank you, AEs, for the $5 donation, man. Means a lot. I'll put that towards the prize pool, as we need to hit that $2,000 prize pool goal by the end of the season. So let's see if we can do it. That'll be the biggest prize pool we've ever had if we get to 2K as well. Yeah, QIKZ. Now, looks like Goes Too Dark currently queuing up to go for a 12 Nexus, which is not something that's common in PvZ. Now he sees the spawning pool and the gas. I don't think we're going to be seeing that. But going for the gas and spawning pool together on 9 means Zoom is looking to be a little bit aggressive here. For sure. Now, one thing I'd like to do while we're in a little bit of a lull in this game, at the very least, we've got the Forge coming up by the way, is a massive shout out to our 3 sponsors, Liquipedia, Matrino, and Esport Fund, for supporting the STPL to get us to the point where we're almost at the highest prize pool we've ever had. And also a big shout out to the people who are contributing on Patreon. Every bit of money from the Patreon up until the end of Season 3 will be heading into the prize pool at the end. So basically, as much as we can get will be going in. If you're interested in supporting on Patreon, there is a low dollar tier, which is $2. There's also a $5 tier where you can get access to all of the replays so far of the STPL. That's over 1,300 games, including replays of players like Best, Mind, Killer, Hire, Scan, Noob, Zealot, Shine. So many good players, including like Bonneth, Kogut, Terra, Eon Zerg, stuff like that as well. So really good players, really good replays as well. So if you want to support $5 a month, you'll gain access to all of those. Now we've got a late hatchery coming in here from Zoom, but he did go for the early lings that aren't going to be able to do anything. Yeah, now Eon Zerg hasn't played in STPL since Season 2. A little bit unfortunate, but that's how it is. He's on Naz still, I think, and Naz aren't playing in any clan leagues. Thing is, I don't think Eon Zerg has any interest in playing in clan leagues right now, and that's fine. Thing is, True Touch missed all of Season 2, and then in Season 3 he came back with IRK, and he's been killing it, so that's what happens. We've had a lot of probes pulled here to try and hold on to this. There is 2 cannons, so realistically this amount of probes may not be necessary, but staying alive is the most important thing. We've got the 3rd hatchery coming in down here as well. But this isn't all in from Zoom. He is going to be transitioning out of this into probably a Hydra Burst. But looks like we are going to have Lings trying to get past the Zealot and the probes. Oh, the Zealot gets in a position. The probes are doing a pretty good job blocking. And the cannons are going to be able to clean up the rest of these. But 2 Lings are going to snake their way into the main here. And when this happens, it causes a lot of disruption for the Protoss. 2 Lings, if controlled well, will not die against the Zealot. And can just and over again. Pop in, do some damage to probes, and pull him back as well. But the core coming up means we are going to have most likely a Stargate coming up next here for Ghost of Dark and playing fairly standard. Now, given the fact we only had one series on both Monday and Wednesday, this is the longest I've casted in a row in a very long time. It's been like a week. We've actually had some pretty long games today so far as well. So we're at 5:30 AM Japan time, 9:30 PM UK time, 10:30 for you Europeans, and also a little bit later for the Americans watching, because I know there's a lot of you that usually tune in. I don't see many of you in the chat, but I know a lot of you are around, so kind of nice to be able to go here. The reason why I say Japan time first is essentially after work I've been living on Japan time for like the last 3 weeks, because I spend a lot of time in VR chat speaking Japanese these days, and everyone I've talked to is Japanese, so I kind of know what time they're on, so I know when to sort of log in and stuff. But it's been fun, but it's always good to be able to get involved and watch some more games. Stargate is done. First Corsair is on the way. Good for scouting. Need to make sure you know exactly what your opponent's doing. Now, 4th hatchery coming in. 5th hatchery. No, that's not 5th hatchery. The 5th hatchery's down here. So it is going to be a Hydra macro style. Come after, or come outside of this. Now, VR chat. I know I'm kind of pimping VR chat all the time, but it genuinely is an amazing program. If you join VR chat, if I see you, if I catch you crouch walking around left and right while talking to people, I will shout at you. I hate those people. Like, Japanese people in VR chat do not do that. But all the non-Japanese people who come to Japanese worlds do that, and it really frustrates me. It's like, just imagine you're in a conversation in real life, and you've got someone in front of you walking backwards and forwards, crouch walking. It's just horrible. It's horrible. It's really hard to converse with people like that. But the link's finally getting cleaned up in the main. Corsair killing one of the overlords. Second Corsair did get an overlord as well. That did go for basically a scout. Saw everything he needed to do. Yeah, Stuffed Pink Owl saying it's FPS players. Now, people have said that to me as well, but I play FPS games, and I can stand still. Like, I've been playing FPS games since I was like 6 or something. I think my first FPS game I ever played was probably one of the Alien games on PlayStation 1. Like, you can stand still for sure. Looks like another Overlord is going to go down. This is going to supply block Zoom momentarily, which is kind of annoying. There's only a single Hydra here as well, so another Overlord is going to go down. Is he going to lose a third Overlord in a row? Zoom is just taking so much damage. Now there's some Lings outside the front of the base. They're not going to be able to get in. And with all of these Overlords going down, going for the DTs here is actually the most clever play that Ghost of Dark can go for. Now, they are late DTs. It's not like this was a Corsair DT build order specifically. This is a DT that's being built based on the fact that he went for those Overlord kills. But there's not going to be much at home to defend. All the Overlords are going to be clumped up in one place. And now there is a Spore, but if he pushes with enough Zealots and enough DTs, he's actually going to cause a lot of problems. Now, Zoom does know about the DTs now. That's a little bit unfortunate here for Ghost of Dark, but he's pretty much in the best position that he can, than he could ever possibly want to be in. Okay, Robo coming in as well, so a DT drop could be on the way here. As all the... yeah, it's going to be a DT drop, and this is going to be massive. The Corsairs before, I saw them on the minimap, they moved up here because they're scouting. They're scouting around to try and see for any units, but oh my god, Zoom with the Star Sense coming in here, moving a Ling up here. And Zoom is going to fly straight into this, but does he have an Overlord in position to deal with this? The Corsairs moving in a position to intercept the Overlords before they can get back into the main. And there is no detection in the main right now whatsoever. And Ghost to Dark could take a very strong position here. The 4 DTs dropping off, a Spore Colony coming up. But a Spore Colony is not going to save this base. It's going to go down before it can even finish. And DTs could in fact just end the game. The drones finally being pulled away. The lair is being targeted down now. Overlords are slowly coming back. He doesn't even have Overlord speed just yet. It's not finished. The lair is going to be killed before Overlord speed can finish. And the Corsairs coming in behind. He's going to be able to get all of these Overlords. Oh my goodness. Devastation coming in here from Ghost to Dark. Absolutely. Oh my god, an Overlord spawn. But he loses his spawning pool. He loses the spawning pool. The DTs go down, but at what cost? It's 2 hatcheries were killed there and a spawning pool. A ton of Overlords. And Ghost to Dark is just going to find himself going around here. Now, Anonymous says, does gifting subs have the same economic value as a Streamlabs donation to the prize pool? Not really. Basically, subs, I'm an affiliate, so I don't get much from it. If you want to donate to the prize pool, Matrino is definitely your best way because it goes directly in. There's no like fees or anything like that. So if you do want to add some money, head it on over to the Matrino. If you want to support me more personally over a longer period of time, then Patreon can be good as well. But Matrino is really, really good. Really good platform. I would say Matrino is probably the best platform available for hosting tournament prize pools. The money in there cannot go to anyone but the players or the people that sign up to the tournament. I mean, you can run away with the money, I think. Not that I've ever looked to try. But it's definitely a safe way for tournament organizers to send money to the players of the tournament. Oh, the Corsair, or the Scourge coming in here. This is only a 4 Zealot drop. Oh, the shuttle goes down. And this is something that Zoom definitely needed. Just getting those Zealot kills, very important. Yeah, and Twitch doesn't send out money immediately either when you're not a partner, so you have to wait a bit for it. Twitch subs are quite possibly the most pointless thing in the world. Like, I don't really understand Twitch subs or the point of them. I'm really thankful for you guys that do sub. I don't mean like they're terrible, but genuinely, like, as an affiliate, Twitch subs are just kind of odd. Like, they've made it better for affiliates for sure, but unless you're like a partner with a really good Twitch contract, like, you don't really get much from Twitch subs. Like, even bits are a little bit better, and bits are annoying as well, because like the people who are donating the bits have to pay Twitch to buy them, so it's strange. Twitch were probably, well, they're definitely not looking to partner me anytime soon, I don't think, but now I've just made it even worse. Thing is, Twitch aren't greedy. They need to make money somehow because they spend a ton of money on server infrastructure. I don't know this for sure, but think of how many servers they need to run a global streaming service like this. Like, they have to make some money somehow, and that's how they do it. I've not got a problem with it necessarily. Like, a Freaker make a lot of money from a Freaker as well. But honestly, like, a Freaker don't have the money to get server infrastructure anywhere else other than Korea. So even with the amount of money a Freaker make from their platform, they spend a lot of money on different tournaments. They spend a lot of money on supporting their streamers and stuff like that as well, that they can't like grow to a global audience. Now, looks like we are going to have Ghost to Dark pushing forward here in the middle of the map. He does have a lot of Storm here, which is going to make this a little bit more difficult for Zoom to engage. Looks like Zoom getting ready for a possible drop coming in from the top. The 4th base coming up down there on the bottom right. But this could be a little bit too late here for Zoom. Zoom does not have many units. We've got a lot of high Templar here. He just needs to get to this high ground. And if he can take down the natural, he already killed the main once. If he does it again, it's pretty much going to be game over. Let's keep an eye on the storms. He's got so much energy, storm blanketing everywhere. He's not actually using all of his storms here though. And there's just so much devastation. This army is so big from our Protoss player. There's an observer here which will help deal with these lurkers. There's storm here as well, which will really twist the knife once it's been put in. And Anonymous has just posted something here, which I'm going to need to go check out in a second. But GG, Zoom gets taken out. Goes to Dark, wins game number 2. Game number 1. And when we get back after this very short break, we'll head into game number 3. I'm bad at counting to 5. Oh my goodness. We had one game. Right, see you guys in a moment.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's the map man! Skibidi on did it did. Skibidi on did it did. Skibidi on did it did. He's the map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Bee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you. Gooba-dooba-dooba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-boop, ba-ba-ba-da-boop.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to say a massive thank you to Anonymous for donating $694.50 to the Matrino prize pool. That is an incredible amount of money, and it actually means we've reached our $2,000 goal for the season. So a massive thank you. It means so much to be able to make that goal as well. And that's just really crazy, man. Thank you so much. And now let's add the win for Ghost to Dark there. Let's get in to game number 2. This time, we're going to be heading in to a PBT rather than a PBZ. Starting us off here for EF is going to be Cruzago. And Cruzago, a very good player for EF. He's done really well in the STPL so far. 3 games, 3 wins. You can't get much better than that. It's actually physically impossible to be able to do that. And just overall a really good player. His opponent gonna be Ziggy fighting for NetWars. Now Ziggy, their current captain, a very strong Zerg player from, very strong Terran player from Poland. I just assume that everyone's Zerg on Zerg on NetWars. Man, I'm actually speechless. I don't know how to like cast now. I've actually lost the ability to cast. But there we go. Okay, so his win streak is pretty good. 7 wins, 9 losses. I guess that's not a streak, but either way, a 43% win rate overall, but a 62% win rate against Protoss means Ziggy, this is his matchup. Now, is this going to be his map? We're going to be heading into Monty Hall SE. Monty Hall SE, a very fun 2-player map. Top left, bottom right hand corner spawns. 3 naturals for each main. And honestly, one of the best maps in the season so far. We've had a lot of good games here. PBT, it's been a little bit back and forth. Terran with the advantage overall. But we've had some really long and really fun games here as well. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into game number 2. It's EF versus NetWars. It's Ziggy versus Cruzago. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off here in the top left-hand position, fighting for NetWars, it's Ziggy. And down here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting for EF, it's the orange Protoss player, it's Cruzago. Now, Monty Hall, very fun map. Just because there's a lot more people watching today than has been recently. If you don't know about the way this map works, there is 3 naturals all blocked off by these 3 mineral fields. You can note by the minimap, there is a ton of bases on this map. With the 3 naturals, they only have 3,400 gas, and all of the other bases only have 2,000, including this bottom right one, I believe, if I remember correctly. No, okay, so the islands have 5,000, but the 4 bases around the edge have 2,000. So essentially what you're looking for on this map is a lot of bases very quickly and go into a lot of either drops, a lot of pushing, or a lot of aggression. Now Ziggy, relatively standard player. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy from him, although we could see a drop opening from Ziggy on this map. Ziggy always prepares a little bit for each map, I believe. Here's where he turns up in chat and says, no, I don't. But whenever I watch what he's doing, he always seems to bring a build specific to the map. He never just blindly goes for something. And Ziggy says, no, he doesn't. There we go. Well, this is why you don't have a photo. See what it is? Okay, so Jendy's saying it's hard to see the navy blue, so we'll swap it to blue versus red, that's fine. We'll just do that now. That is a fair point, especially on this map. So, red versus blue, all well and good. It's a shame you can't manually change one of the colors, but the fact it's top versus bottom, because Ziggy and Cruzago are amazing people, means we can just press Shift-Tab and fix it. There we go. For anyone doubting why we have the rule in the STPL to host top versus bottom, that's it. Big shout out to both these players and all of the players so far tonight that have played in their games, because they've all hosted top versus bottom so far, so I've got no complaints. And to the person in chat who said the British sounding caster, I am actually from England. I do regret that every single day of my life pretty much recently, but I am from England. I can't help it. I'm sorry for being born in England, but I'm glad you like my accent, because it's the only one good thing about being British, the fact that I grew up learning English. Like, English is literally the only good thing about living in England. Like, England is not a nice place right now. Yeah, and I'm living virtually in Japan, so it's all good. Edward's saying that and Heinz baked beans with sausages. My mum used to love those when she was still alive. Like, she'd always make me buy them and cook them for her. I don't think I ever ate them though, because living virtually in VR is what that means. I've been on VR chat a lot. Like, so to give you an example, maybe I shouldn't say this, but when I look at my played time, I've been playing VR chat for 3-4 weeks, and I am currently at 243 hours played. I have been spending a lot of time meeting people and playing with them. Now, we've got Cruzago going for a very quick expansion here. 28 Nexus, very, very standard. Maybe 23 Nexus. Was too busy checking my VR chat time to figure out what was going on. But it's going to be an armory coming in here after the starport. So Ziggy is going to be going for a Vulture drop into very quick upgrades. And no expansion, which is a little bit risky. Yeah, VR chat is literally just a VR thing. You don't even need VR to use it. But basically you just talk to people. There is games and stuff you can play in there as well. Like I was playing, the other day, I was playing like this zombie mode in there where it's kind of like tag, but you have zombies and humans and you've got to run around and like hide and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. There's also like a Trouble in Terrorist Town game mode called Murder, and you can even play Beat Saber in it as well. Now, we've got the observatory coming in, 2 gateways. Clicks and cuts. VR is virtual reality. You know, the thing you wear a headset for. Like the thing you put on your face and you have controllers that control your hands. Oh. But where? I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Do you mean like where am I using it? In which case at home. I haven't actually left my house in like 2 months because of coronavirus, so I'm living the rapid lifestyle, making sure to avoid all problems. Now, oops, sorry, there is actually a drop going on. Looks like a couple of probes have died, but not too many. Most of the probes were pulled away to the gas here, and that's what happens when I lose focus on the game. Medini was right. Oh. Yeah, clicks and cuts. The reason why I'm living virtually in Japan is because essentially I spend all evening after work talking to Japanese people on VR. So that's why. Imagine the film Ready Player One, but it's not as advanced and everyone has an anime avatar. That's VR chat. There's not only anime avatars though. There's also a lot of random meme avatars that just aren't funny. Yeah, we've got 2 factories coming in here. Command Center finally coming up from Ziggy, but this is in such a weird location. Not really sure what his plan is with this one. I guess he's just going to build it in the center and then decide where to expand to. He is going to go for a double drop here. 3 Goliaths and 2 tanks, going to make this very difficult to deal with. Now there is 3 Dragoons in position to deal with this. The Observer, I believe, just got about into a position that could deal with this, but the tanks going to siege up behind the minerals and make this very, very nice. Now, I've only actually spoken to one actual Japanese old man. He's 50, well, even then he's 53, that isn't that old, but he's a really funny guy. Now, no siege mode actually from Ziggy being used there means he didn't get the additional damage down on the Dragoons. Looks like he either forgot siege mode or maybe he didn't want to get it early on. Also, I regret that Mutas doesn't said 53 is the new 30. Because I'm 30 this year and I'm not old. I'm 100% not old. I'm young at heart, okay? I'm gonna be hitting the fucking 30s. Oh man. I can't believe I'm hitting that. Seems crazy. To be fair, I'm 30. I'm actually on the Brood War scale young. Like, most people in the Brood War scene are older than me, so I'm lucky. I'm still one of the young ones. All I've got to do to feel young is hang around with older people. That's what it is. Then I'll always be the youngest. It's fine. But shout outs to anyone born in 1990, the best year to be born. We lived through the entire 90s, which means essentially we are the true 90s kids. Now there is a Wraith up here from Ziggy, just getting into a position to try and deal with any shuttles that come in. But Cruzago hasn't really been going for that. He doesn't even have a robo just yet, which is very risky. Sorry, he does have a robo. He just doesn't have a shuttle is what I meant to say. Observers checking out everything. Has he got 4 observers already? No, sorry, there's 2 observers and a lot of other stuff going on. I experienced all the first half of the 90s. I was young. That's how it is. いや、あれはおじいさんじゃないよ。おじさんですよ。Then we've got 3 factories coming in from Ziggy. The expansion is finally up. Looks like the barracks coming up down here in the bottom left. Gonna get taken down. This means there's gonna be no additional factories for a while, so it looks like Ziggy is forced to go in to an additional 2 factories, maybe quicker than he wants to. But Ziggy's sending out his other command center. Now it looks like he wants to push and expand down here to the bottom left, but this means this command center is going to be flying for a very, very long time. Now we're still only on 2 gateways here in the main by Cruzago, and this is not enough units. Like, 2 gateways at this stage in the game when you're on 3 base is essentially unheard of. Like, this is... Oh, sorry, wait, 4 gateways, sorry, okay, that's a little bit better. Apparently I definitely can't count. 1 to 5, that's a struggle. It's a real big struggle, guys, okay? It's really hard to count to 5. I was born in England. Our education system isn't very good. We never learned how to count past 1. This is not great. Here we go. Looks like we are going to have the Dragoons moving forward. This is a very good position for Ziggy to hold on to. The Zealots at the front, unable to get towards the tanks at the back. But this is still a very good engagement somehow from Cruzago. Cruzago just bombing his way through the front tanks. But the Dragoons can't get through the gap, but it doesn't matter. The Zealots at the back cleaning up the tanks. And Cruzago destroys all of Ziggy's army. Ziggy plummets to 75 supply. And his 3rd base that he's just built, it's only just managed to land here. It's gonna go down. There's no way he is gonna be able to deal with this army. Cruzago is in a fantastic position right now. This is 5 factories worth of production. He is going to be building 3 tanks at a time, which he needs to be able to come back in this game. But this is incredible. Cruzago, a very solid Protoss player from Chile, and just genuinely really good, but all going for the Mind Drag, not quite managed to do it. Looks like a lot of the Dragoons very heavily damaged from before. Oh my god, the Mind doing a pretty good job there as well, helping Ziggy hold on to this. And Ziggy's going to save his 3rd. There we go. The shoe is on the other foot. 1 player lost their army. And just with transmutation, all creations require a sacrifice. The creation was killing the army. The sacrifice was his army. And I've used the wrong terminology for transmutation, but honestly, like alchemy, it's not real. So yeah, cast this curse coming in. We've got the Nexus coming up here for the 4th base from Cruzago. Another 2 additional gateways have been added on at the natural expansion. I guess this is the 3rd base. Now, if a Zealot runs over here and kills all the probes, then that would be incredibly lucky. Now, looks like we did have a drop coming in here. This is going to put down a lot of mines in between the base and Cruzago, so he is going to be able to take out a couple of probes. But honestly, that isn't too much of a big deal. The mine going off on the Dragoons is a bigger deal, and that's definitely something you don't want happening. Yeah, the law of equivalent exchange is what I was going for, but I couldn't I couldn't remember the word those words or how to explain it, but a lot of observers all over the place. Looks like we are going to have a double drop coming into the top right-hand base. Now, if you drop on this high ground, it's very difficult for Cruzago to clean this up. So, the other thing to note about these bases is they actually have lower minerals. We can actually see that on this one. It's only 1,000 minerals, so you mine out of these bases very, very quickly. And that's the same with these ones as well. They're only 1,500, so Ziggy getting into a position to defend down on the bottom left. But when you're on the bottom left, it doesn't open up any further bases for you. The only base you can take is this high ground, and that's not great. You need to start thinking about pushing around on the right. Like, imagine if he takes this base, then he blocks Cruzago from being able to expand again. Now, the one risky play Ziggy can go for is a push on the main and take the other natural. So I don't know whether we'll see that this game. The rally point could cause a few issues if it's not in the main base. Looks like the drop never actually went for a drop over the top of the other base. We're going to have Cruzago getting ready to take another Nexus. And he's actually getting ready to push through here. Oh my goodness, this is the perfect anti-timing here by Ziggy. He just opened it up to go for an expansion. And okay, Cruzago's going to stop. I was going to say he's sending all of his units. And a lot of Ziggy's units are not in a position to do this. And now Cruzago getting his army scanned as well. Definitely not good. Cruzago definitely doesn't want to push through this area right here, as he is not going to make it through. Now, Ziggy has a lot of workers, but he doesn't have a lot of money. He's going into 2-2. A little bit late on those upgrades, but not the worst position to be in. He's up at 7 factories. His bases are still mining pretty well. Cruzago isn't really able to do much damage anywhere. We've got a Dragoon that's completely stuck, which he will kill with a cannon, so I don't know why he wouldn't just kill the cannon. Let's kill a cannon, then you got a Dragoon. Like, cannon is minerals and no gas, so... looks like we've got Cruzago trying to expand here to the top right hand corner. Ziggy getting ready to push down on the bottom left again. Getting ready to expand as well. Now Ziggy is actually really low on money. Like, he needs to be able to afford a command center and he can't. He's macroing really, really well. But once again, expanding to this base, it gives you another place to defend. But it also doesn't give you anywhere to attack, so you're just splitting yourself up a little bit too hard. It would actually be better to push down here as Ziggy, and then you're defending this base as well. Now, a lot of units back in Ziggy's main. This is a massive army coming in here from Cruzago, but look at the scan. Ziggy with the Star Sense going there. It's Scan Man over here. But a lot of units coming down from the main. This is a lot of Zealots pushing up on absolutely everything. The Dragoons focusing those buildings at the front. Tanks focusing the Dragoons. But could this be a little bit too much Protoss here? Ziggy did scout that top right-hand base with the Wraith a little bit earlier. This is a lot of units coming in to defend against this. And this is, as a matter of fact, all of Cruzago's army. So if this fails, Ziggy can go for a big, big counterattack here. And it looks like the Dragoons getting themselves caught. Mines being placed behind the Dragoons, making it very difficult for them to go back. And these mines could be insane. Looks like the Dragoons getting... Look at this! D-Matrix on the Vulture, going to keep it alive. And all of Cruzago's units die there. And now Cruzago finds himself mining out of his main. Mining out of his first natural completely. Second natural about to go down. Now this is going to be an important moment. Is there enough energy for a stasis? No, there isn't. The Arbiter going to go down. Arbiter hanging around DTs. Scans going down. These were panic DTs for sure coming in from Cruzago, but Ziggy may just have a little bit too many units. The stasis comes down on 2 tanks and a Goliath. That isn't going to be enough to hold on. Now it looks like Ziggy still hasn't taken his base. But he is getting into a position where he is pushing the gateways right now. Now a single DT going to run out here, scanning it as well just to make sure, even though the mines would have killed that on its own. And there we go. I think this is just going to be game over. Cruzago down at 102 supply. Ziggy doing an incredible job. There's no stasis available. There's no anti-air down here, so eventually with the 10 damage, the Arbiter will kill a tank in 15 shots, but Cruzago just, he doesn't have the gateways. He doesn't have the positioning. And yes, he's expanding away from his opponent, but Ziggy is in such an amazing position right now. And if Ziggy pushes the top right, it's done. There we go. He can't win. GG. Cruzago taps out. And Ziggy is going to tie up the series 1-1. Okay, we're going to go for a quick break. And then when we get back, we'll head into game number 3. It's going to be a good one. Don't miss out.
STPL Season 3. Yeah. STPL does. Bio TVP? Wow! No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL does. STPL does. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid. We got Hydralisk to defend. Yes. STPL, STPL. Fantastic production, fantastic casters, fantastic prize pool. Only in STPL.
I'm about to overload my aggression inhibitors. Outstanding. Rock and roll.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
He's a map man! Skibidi on did it, dude. Skibidi on did it, dude. Skibidi on did it, dude. He's a map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Bee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you. Gooba-dooba-dooba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Ba-ba-ba-da-boop.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
Yeah.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 3 between EF and NetWars. The series is tied up 1-1. And coming up next, we have the star match of today. It's going to be the two powerhouses against each other, the Peruvian powerhouse Terra against the Polish powerhouse Kogut. Now these two players in the STPL have not met that many times before, but in the Corrupted Cup last year, Terra beat Kogut 5 games in a row. And it was absolutely crazy. All of the games were really, really good. And Ratters, that was a Dreamcast. Yes, it was. I got my Dreamcast incredibly late, but it's also my favorite matchup. And we're going to go on to the most standard map in the map pool. It is a super macro map. There's actually not that many gas bases, which means there's usually a lot more vultures in TBT. It's very hard to split the map, but we'll go into the full details as we get into it. Let's get into game number 3. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off here in the top right hand corner in the wonderful magenta, fighting for EF, it's the Peruvian powerhouse, it's Terra. Maybe we should call him the Peruvian Punisher. That'd be a cool name. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right hand corner in the white, fighting for NetWars, it's Kogut. The Polish powerhouse. Now these two players, they have a long history against each other in the foreign scene. This is the first time they've met in the STPL, but this man right here in the top right hand corner, his win ratio against Terran is 72%. He's on 8 wins, 3 losses, and he is doing a very, very good job against Terran. And equally so, doing a fantastic job down here in the bottom right is his opponent Kogut, with a 13-1 win ratio over Terran, 92%. 92% win ratio against Terran. He's currently on an 11-0 winning streak against Terran. It's Kogut. And honestly, these two players against each other, really, really good. Two of the best. In fact, I would argue without a doubt that these two players are the best two foreign Terrans right now. I know Dandy is really good as well, but I really do rate Kogut higher than Dandy, and I rate Terra higher than Dandy as well. Dandy has been a little bit more inactive. Now we've got Kogut going for the going for a barracks in the middle of the map. It's not all in or anything, it's just a quicker scout essentially. These two players very evenly matched, although in Corrupted Cup, Terra just had Kogut's number. He beat him 5 games in a row and eventually got out of the group once he managed to finally beat Eon Zerg, but that was definitely an interesting game of games. I saw so many good TBTs between these two that day, and I'm really hoping we get a good one here, because TBT is by far my favorite matchup in the game. It's the most strategic of any matchup, and me as the map man, TBT exemplifies that, because every single square of pathable land in a TBT is important. Every single square. There is not one single area of a TBT that doesn't have some kind of importance. Like any buildable area, that can be where you put a turret, that can be where a dropship can slip past, and it can be where a tank can sit as well. Now both of these players are spawning in vertical positions. Now this actually makes it a lot easier to split this map, but just because it's TBT and in the early game not really much goes on, it's very hard to get a siege line to cover all of this. But if you can cover this area, and you cover here as Kogut for instance, you get access to a gas base. Now from Kogut's perspective, oh look at this, he's actually engineering bay blocking. That's kind of pointless in TBT, but whatever. He's going to build his command center off location and just float over. But let's have a look at the gas bases. So you have the mineral only, you have your natural, you have the gas base, which is an island at 6 o'clock, and you have the other main and natural. So that realistically gives you access, easy access, if you split the map in half horizontally, to go for 5 gases. Now if you want to go for BCs, you want more than that. You want to get this 3 o'clock, this is 9 o'clock, and this 3 o'clock base. These 2 gases are going to be the most important gases on the map. There are the 2 in the middle as well, but this is incredibly hard to take hold of. Like people think of the, they think of the gas base in, or the double gas in the middle of Fighting Spirit as something that's impossible to take. Andromeda is literally impossible to hold on to. There is no way you can defend against this base whatsoever. Like you can actually take damage from all sides, and there's so much space you have to cover, and the minerals aren't even that good. Like, unlike in Fighting Spirit where it's actually a good base to take, this base isn't even that great. But it ends stalemate situations, so that's what it's there for. Now 3 factories coming in here from Terra. I believe this is an armory. No, it's going to be a depot up here in the top right hand corner. Kogut meanwhile going in for 2 factories instead of 3. Terra going to be the more aggressive player, going for the quick 3 factory speed vultures with mines. He'll go for speed first. And we're actually having Kogut going for the air first. Now usually Terra, when he plays TBT, he likes going wraiths, and on this map wraiths are pretty good. There's actually a lot of unbuildable area, like all of this black space here is completely unbuildable, so wraiths are very strong on this map for that reason. But seeing Kogut get the early air advantage is actually quite interesting. And one of the reasons for this is, I mean, Terra doesn't have an armory. He's actually got nothing that can shoot up whatsoever. So this single Wraith can just sit in Kogat's base. Can sit in Terra's base forever. Like, there's nothing that can shoot up. Now, it looks like we're going to have Terra go for his own counterattack here. Now, this is going to be a little bit stronger. But looks like we do have good target firing by Terra. Kogat trying to block his ramp. Going to be unable to. We've got an SCV block trying to come back here to try and block these... Oh my god, he's actually doing it. I couldn't think of the right word, but he blocked his ramp and he saves his base. That is the most important moment in the game. Now, Koga, of course, is going to be doing damage, 4 kills. But that was a lot of dead vultures. Like, that's a lot of minerals you're not going to get back. That was a lot of mines that were never planted. If Terra had all of those vultures right now, he would have incredible map control the second that mines finish. Now we've got double starport coming up here in the top left, trying to counteract the single starport from Kogat. But it's been scouted. It's not going to work anymore. Oh yeah, and the minimap is revealed, sorry. I thought things looked a bit weird. But there we go, looks like, oh no, he's actually going to get the vultures in the base this time. There's mines coming up at the top of the ramp, making it impossible for this tank to come back home to defend. And this tank gets taken out as well. Now this is going to be a very, very important moment in this game because Terra is going to be able to do a ton of damage. But Kogat's... How are Kogat's SCVs this good? How are they moving perfectly? His micro on his workers are so amazing. Like, Terra is doing a good job with his target firing. But those SCVs did so much. And look at the repair! Kogat, man. Best SCV usage outside of Korea. Confirmed. There we go. You heard it here first. Those were some flash SCVs if I've ever seen them. They should not have done that much damage. Now, he's only 7 SCVs down. He did lose a lot, but he's still only 7 or 8 down. That is nothing in a TVT. Now, obviously, the longer the game goes on, the worse it's going to be. We've got a tank on the high ground. It's so hard to break into this to kill it. He's going to get the gas. And Terra delayed his second gas for ages, going for Mass Vulture. And he lost his barracks as well, so he didn't have any additional factories either. So, looks like all of Terra's gas going to go into 2 Cloaked Wraiths after a dropship. Terra going to continue going for this harassment. 2 Wraiths still alive. Looks like the first Wraith did go down, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But now the SCV count is tying up. The dropship coming in to kill the tank, which is kind of funny. He's forced into this, but he is going to kill that. Oh my god, he's going to lose the dropship. Kogat is so good. Oh my goodness, Kogat. Kogat is on another level this game. He is doing so well. He gets the Wraith as well. This could not be going any better for Kogat in this game. Oh my goodness. Terra had Kogat's number in the Corrupted Cup when they met 5 games in a row. But today in the STPL, Kogat is absolutely killing it. He's going to be able to get another Wraith if he goes back up there as well. Cloak is done. It doesn't matter too much. There's still mines though in Kogat's base, which can be a little bit frustrating. We've got Wraith on Wraith action. Look at the split! There we go! Kogat, man! He's doing it! He is absolutely killing it in this game. Man, that's so good. Saving that Wraith is so important. Now, as long as he doesn't lose all his units to this mine, he'll be in a good position. There we go. Kogat with a supply advantage. He's ahead in workers again, despite losing so many workers against the Vulture drop. Terra forced into turrets as well, in spite of the fact he went for Cloak first. And this is just looking so good. Now Terra, oh my god, Terra. Terra's scouting, man. This is such a treat. Scouting out that dropship, so unbelievably important. Although it's only one Vulture, which is a little bit weird. Definitely not the normal drop you would see, but I suppose it works out. Now, what player is going to be the first one to go for the expansion in the top middle? I do wonder. Terra's only Wraith coming down here to help defend this position. Looks like Terra wants to try and go for a forward location here and take the 9 o'clock base. Now this is a very good position to hold. It stops drops from being able to get up to the top right hand side of the map. And it also means you can get a third gas very quickly. And it prevents your opponent getting it in the late game. So third base is coming up for both players at the mineral only. Interestingly, Koga isn't going in for any vultures. Vultures very common on this map just because you have so many minerals. So we should eventually see their mineral, like the mineral counts for both players start to spike quite a lot. Terra is not continuing with these 2 starport production. We've got a lot of dropships coming out here. Now we're going to have Koga go for the island first. Now to take this island you need to, I don't know how they made this work. But essentially to take this island you have to mine out that mineral. I guess you have to build the CC like here and it's just blocked. But Koga with the only dropship. Obviously we had Terra lose his only dropship a little bit earlier on. Koga is going to take Terra is going to take map control here. Which means he is going to secure that extra base. But he's not going to have air control, which is really one of the important stories in TVT. Now these 2 turrets very nicely positioned to catch any dropships as they go by. Adding on an additional missile turret to be sure as well. We've got the SCVs transferring over. Lots of vultures starting to head out into the middle of the map, lay some mines, get some vision, and just make sure that he can see things. Now he's going to put some, leaves the vultures over here. They've used all their mines, but he's going to scout for drops heading over the left hand side. And Terra is so good, and so is Koga. I'm so happy we get to watch them play each other. It's really, I love TVT so much. Now we're going to have Koga go for a triple drop here. He doesn't actually pick up all of his units, but he does scan somewhere. Both of them are scanning quite well. But Koga's still not taking this island. This is actually a little bit of a mistake because he is down in gas, and the longer he's down in gas, the harder it's going to become. Koga does have +1 finished. Terra does not, so that's a benefit, at least in this game for Koga. Does Terra even have an armory? Yes, he does. But obviously with that upgrade coming in late, it's going to cause a problem. But Science Facility means the +2 attack upgrade for both players is going to start relatively the same time. Because Terra's already prepared, he's got his Science Facility ready. And that means we're going to go into an even situation again. Completely even Stevens, as we would say in the UK. Now we've got both players scanning around. Looks like Terra looking for the dropships. He doesn't see them where he's looked. Now does that mean he's going to know there's a drop coming in? And I don't think he knows. There we go. Looks like we do have some of the dropships going down to the turrets, which is annoying. But look at how strong this position is. He's going to get on top of one of the gases again. And basically, this position is impenetrable. If you don't have dropship yourself, which Terra doesn't, how do you ever break these tanks? The tank's even getting shots off on the tanks, trying to come back to defend. The gas is going to go down, the minerals are under siege. And Terra's had to pull most of his units back from the middle of the map, so if Koga goes now, if he scans around properly, he can push this base now. Now it looks like we are going to get Terra pushing through this. There wasn't any reinforcements to come in, and the dropships did go down. So the units do get taken down, but not without taking heavy losses. Koga up 30 supply on his opponent here, +2 attack. Now started up for both players. Hopefully Koga... No, Koga's actually not built his +2 attack yet. Terra has a chance when +2 kicks in to actually come back in this game, but look at Koga though. Pushing forward. 15 minutes into this fantastic TVT. Oh my god, the mines. That could have been bad, but Terra is in a ton of trouble now. His third gas is in a position where it could go down. He took a ton of damage on his units in his main. His units are going in single file against this siege line in the middle of the map. And this tank is the only thing that stops Koga from being able to push into this base. And Koga, he's up nearly 20 supply in SCVs now as well. Terra trying to come in from multiple angles. Can he break this position? If he can, he stands a chance of staying in this game. But Koga with his third gas in the island base, which is not going to be killed by a Terra who has no dropships. Terra losing all of his units in the middle of the map as well. SCVs helping take down the vultures. Gonna save this tank, so the gas is gonna continue to be mined for the time being. But this is not looking good here for Terra whatsoever. Koga has done such a fantastic job throughout this game. Now, Terra still has a timing. It's TBT. A lot can go wrong in TBT when you're not ready. And when +2 kicks in, this one tank could become a monster. I mean, it's already got 10 kills. Like, we've got Cloak Wraith coming in here as like a panic maneuver. The tank is going to go down, not before getting another kill. Is it going to get 12 kills before it dies? Yes, it does. 13, 13, 13. This... Oh, the repair! The repair is doing so much here. This tank, so much value. But the Wraith's going to fall here. The unit's going to fall as well. And it looks like Terra is going to be the one to try and go for a counter-attack here. But this is TBT. His opponent has expanded to the bottom left. His opponent's on the island. You cannot get to this from ground. So what's Terra going to do? Is he going to try and come in from behind? It looks like he wants to come around behind the siege line and set up a contain on his opponent. But this is so many tanks in the middle of the map. Koga can take a 4th gas. And this is... Oh my god, the mines. The mines, the mines, the mines, the mines, the mines! Oh my god, 3 kills with a single mine. And Terra's counter is completely crushed. And it looks like Koga has demolished his way through Terra here. GG. Terra taps out and Koga wins game number 3. So, that game is a pretty good example of why TBT is my favorite matchup. Unfortunately, we didn't get a long hour-long TBT or anything, but to be honest, it's getting kind of late in the UK, so maybe it's a good thing. But I'm going to go for a quick break. We'll go for a little bit of a longer break here just so I can regain some of my voice, and we'll get into game number 4 with NetWars up 2-1. See you guys soon. STPL does. Bio TVP. Wow! You got it. STPL does. Mass Scouts? No problem. Broadcast 3 nights a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2100 CEST. Fantastic casting, fantastic production, fantastic prizes. Only here on the STPL. Did you know Reavers could be this radical? How did these lings even get here? All I know is that's one dead base. STPL does. Wraiths, Valkyries, Carriers, and Corsairs. Forget about it. You won't see that anywhere else. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. DT's doing game-ending damage? Name a more iconic duo. We've even got Carriers in PvZ. How amazing! A global team league on the scale you've never seen before. Don't see this in BWCL, STPL does. All that and more, only on this amazing 64-bit STPL. What BWCL don't. Impressed? I know I am. Why not support us on the link below? Patreon.com/kicks. But act fast, it's a limited offer. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into our fourth map of the series. NetWars are up 2-1, and it's going to be up to Chaylin here for EF to see if she can hold on against Yeti from NetWars to take us in to an ace match, the first of this week, if we make it there. Now, NetWars are going to badly want the win in this series. Kogut just did an incredible job against the best foreign Terran in Terra in that TBT. And let's see if Chaylin can take down Yeti. Yeti, a very, very strong player from NetWars, does very, very well in the STPL. He doesn't do as well in solo tournaments, but he is an absolute boss here. The best of one king is Yeti. And Chaylin is a very good player herself. She's had so many wins. And Tripod has been pretty favored for Protoss so far. 4 wins in a row for Protoss on this map means Chaylin could be in a little bit of trouble, but it's going to be up to Chaylin to save the Zerg race here and her team of EF. Can she do it as we get into game number 4? Let's find out. Okay, the game has begun, and down here in the bottom left-hand corner we have the blue Protoss player fighting on match point for NetWars. It's Yeti. Okay, and spawning us here in the top right-hand corner, fighting for her team Eternal Friends, it's Chaylin in the red. So Lucky Noob has basically just made a cheerful for a very important person from today. A very, very not grateful, generous person. I've completely forgotten how to use English these days. It's Anonymous. Thank you so much once again for the donation. Here is a cheerful for you. It's one of the biker mice from Mars, I believe. I don't know. I don't know where Lucky Noob managed to find this picture, but really, really cool. There's you standing there with your awesome bike. Yeah, Anonymous, 91801. I must admit, the numbers on the end of the username, not sure if there's a meaning behind those, but kind of strange. It's all good though. I guess Anonymous must be taken. But Anonymous, a very generous person, did round out our prize pool, so we've made the prize pool goal of $2,000, $1,500 on Matcherino now, and plus 500 from Liquipedia. Means we've got a bigger prize pool next season. Apparently it's Anonymous's old zip code. Isn't the zip code something a little bit personal that you shouldn't really put in put in a username, right? I guess it's not too big of a deal. I don't know how zip codes work in America. Like, is everyone's zip code, is that all unique, or is there like multiple people with that zip code, depending on state? Now it's a 2 gameplay coming in here from Yeti, so we're seeing kind of disgusting parallels between Talent versus Patak and Yeti versus Chaylin. It's even the same build orders, 12 hatch into a spawning pool. People in chat in Videncia telling me that the zip is just the overall location rather than basically in the UK you have a postcode which is unique to your house. It basically means even if the address is wrong, as long as the postcode is right, Royal Mail can find your address and deliver your mail. So pretty good. Postcode's a good system. I've always been confused about zip codes, because whenever I sign up to American websites, they're like, put in your zip code, and I'm like, I don't have one. But Chaylin, unlike Talon, already has... Chaylin, unlike Patak, already has a ton of Zerglings, so this should be a little bit easier to defend this 2 hatchery. And also the fact that, unlike Patak, Chaylin did actually expand in the right direction, which is away from our opponent, which is Yeti. The funny one is Japanese addresses have got to be the weirdest thing in the world. I still don't understand them. But whenever I've had to put, like, there's one of the main stations in Tokyo, whenever I've had to put address in, I put that one in. Okay, Chaylin coming across with a lot of Zerglings here. There is 2 Zealots on top of this ramp, which should make this pretty impossible to deal with. 2 cannons coming up from Yeti before the expansion. Yeti is respecting his opponent here because he knows that Chaylin can come in with a ton of lings from the other angle. But this is maybe playing a little bit too safe. 2 cannons before the Nexus means your expansion is very, very late. The tech is going to be delayed. And the extra gas is going to be delayed, so your Templar are going to be later. And you'll have less overall, so Yeti is playing this a little bit risky by playing so safe, but I know that's kind of... Is that irony? I guess it's not. It's kind of a bit weird, but Chaylin going for a lot of drones here, droning up behind this, going up to 21 drones already. Incredibly good position in this game, up to 24 now, so Chaylin is going to find herself with a worker lead in this game, and that's pretty much the exact position you want to be in against this build. Yeti has delayed everything he wants to do, he didn't get any damage done with any Zealots, and he's been building 2 Zealots at a time this whole time. What are Zealots going to do? Like, later on in the game they become useful again, but right now you need workers, you need tech, you need minerals, you need anything, you need extra gateways even. And look at this! Chaylin just going to attack this egg. It's going to take an absolute year to kill this because I think the neutral eggs have like 20 armor. I still need someone to confirm this for me. Thank you, Mullahate, for the 250 bits.
STPL 3.
I don't know why it does 3 for the heart symbol, but I guess it doesn't know about open bracket. Okay, Lair is done for Chaylin. Spire is on the way, so it's going to be a muteless play coming in here from Chaylin. Now, the benefit of going for this for her is everything is delayed. Look at this, the Cyber Core is only just now finished. There's no Stargate in sight. There's no Templar Archives in sight. Right, it might be 10 armor for eggs, sorry. I think I said 10 armor last time. I doubled it up because I'm a clown. 10 armor for eggs. Okay, there we go. Yeah, everyone says 10 armor apparently, so we're good. Now we've got a lot of Zealots moving over here to the right-hand base. +1 armor, you know, +1 attack is not yet finished. That was delayed as well by going for this build. And Yeti is actually walking into a trap here because there are Muteless on top of this ramp. Yeti is not going to break up here. The Muteless show themselves, which means Yeti is going to be able to go for some cannons in his mineral line. But Chaylin's not going to care about that. Like, these Zealots are all going to go down. The Muteless are going to clear up absolutely everything. Some drones have come down here as well to build a hatchery. And that's all of Yeti's army. Every single unit he's been building up to this point has just died. And all it did was kill Lings. Chaylin is up to 35 drones, now going to 33 just to get some additional buildings. And Chaylin is in an incredible position in this game. Like, everything that could have gone feasibly wrong for Yeti here has gone wrong. Like, there's a cannon in the mineral line, but it does not protect this mineral patch, so you can already see all of the probes have been pulled away. Yeti's been forced to go into Dragoons because he still doesn't have a Stargate. And there's no Citadel. Stargate finally coming in now. This is too late. Chaylin is already in a fantastic position this game. And I think it'll actually take a lot for Yeti to come back here. Now this is good for Chaelin, it's good for EF, and it's good for us because it means we'll be heading into an ace match if Chaelin can win this game. But Yeti, he's so good in these best of 1 situations. In the STPL, he's got a 68% win rate overall. He's had a few losses recently against some really good players like Soma and wait, I read that and then I forgot what it was. Soma and DeWalt and Yes Man as well, but like Yeti is always there to clutch out games for NetWars. Like he's got an arm injury, a wrist injury I think it is, and he still comes out every single time, and he really does show. But this game, it's just not been going his way. Now the Citadel is finally up. Like at this point you should have Storm either done or almost done, I believe, and the Templar Archives is only just starting. If Chaelin could somehow come in with a mass amount of Hydras, the game would be pretty much over, I think. We've got 3 hatcheries here, we've got 2 in the main, and 1 in the first natural. Now Chaelin coming in from another angle, looking to see if she can try and find a way in to do some damage to the mineral lines. There is a Corsair here, which will help zone out the Mulus a little bit, but if Yeti loses that, then it's obviously not going to help out too much. Looks like Yeti getting a little bit greedy, gonna lose his Corsair, not able to get the Overlord. That was not worth it, and that's another thing that's just not going Yeti's way this game. And this is the main story. Look at the Hydras that are starting to build up here off of all the hatcheries. There's going to be a 4th hatchery built up here very shortly, or maybe even down here. And yet he's stuck at the top of his ramp with just Zealots. There's no Storm. There's no High Templar at all. There's no Storm being researched. I think Yeti is a little bit thrown off by this game. This is definitely one of those games that tilts you a little bit, I think. Like, I think he felt like he had this really good plan to go in for that very early... Oh my god, losing another Corsair as well means there's no vision and there's no recompense for the Mulists. Yeah, like you have... you plan a build, a 2 gateway, you can't get any damage done with it, and that already puts you behind. And then you just lose all your Zealots for free. You basically delay everything. You build 2 cannons thinking your opponent's going to counterattack you, but they don't. And I mean, Yeti's done a good job to survive this long, but just look at the number of units coming out of these bases. There's Overlords going absolutely everywhere. Just checking around for any hidden expansions, just checking around for any hidden units. And the Mutalisk is still alive. I don't think a single Mutalisk has died this game. Like, how crazy is that to think about? Now, finally we have some High Templar here, but Storm is still not done. Now, Chaelin does need to respect this position. You cannot push up that short ramp. There is Dragoons here with Zealots and 3 cannons. Like, you're not going to want to go there. Now, if we could somehow, as Lucky Noob pointed out in chat, get Maelstrom and go for the Mutalisks, maybe there's a chance that Yeti can come back here. But how does he take a 3rd base? Now, that's a good Storm. That is a very good Storm. Doesn't kill any units, but does a lot of damage. Looks like this Zealot running out there to have a look, see if he can get any additional Storms off, but nothing really in position to do that just yet. Chaelin transferring her drones a little bit early here to this 4th base, but it's not a massively long distance to be mining, so it's not the biggest of deals. Now, the one benefit Yeti has going for him, it's very difficult for Chaelin to go and attack this base, so if Yeti can take a 3rd, there is still a chance he can come back in this game. Overlord getting taken down over here on the left as well. Going to make it a little bit harder for these Mutalisks to fly around completely for free. Look at this. 3 Dragoons in the middle of the map against 11 Mutalisks. Like, I'm usually pretty bad at maths, but this is pretty much the worst situation you could be in as Protoss. The 3rd base is not going to come up over there. You do not have anything that can deal with the Mutalisks, and you're going to have Chaelin setting up an incredibly strong contain. Now, I'm usually one to be very, very optimistic. I always want to see a player coming back here, but I get the feeling that we're going to have Yeti fall to Chaelin here, and I think we're going to go into an ace match. Shaylin going into Hive behind this. The upgrades still coming in. It's triple upgrades, so it's going to be Ultras probably coming off after this, which is going to be massively important. They're going to be doing so much damage. And Shaylin has just got so much money. Shaylin, definitely a rich player here in this game. Yeti rich on minerals, but not on gas. Is finding a problem getting his units out of his main because of these eggs. You should really kill those at this point. Now Yeti wants to take a third base. He needs to take a third base, but he just doesn't have the units to. He doesn't have the position to. And Shaylin is getting ready in here to come and end the game, I think. Now plus 1-1 is done for Yeti, but it's upgrade parity with the Zerg. Not really where you want to be. Well, let's have a look at this engagement. Lots of units coming down at the front. There was a couple of High Templar getting taken down by the Muteless as well, which means yet again, Yeti is stuck with nothing. Like, Yeti cannot fight this army without Storm, and he just lost all of his High Templar. The third base is going to try and come in. But if those Muteless just fly in, they're going to kill it. Now the Muteless getting into a position to attack the base and that kills the probe. But how do these Dragoons and Zealots fight all these Lurkers? There's one Observer here. The Observer isn't going to get sniped, which is one benefit, but I mean, Yeti can't attack this army. Now we've got a couple of Storms. Let's see how much damage they're going to do. That's a good Storm, and so is that. The Storms here from Yeti, fantastic. The 3 Storms he used are exactly what he needed. 22 kills with those 2 fresh High Templar. Shaylin still with a supply lead, still with a base lead. Oh no, it looks like the Lurkers coming in from behind. They're going to be able to take down these cannons and the eggs, which means this base is going to be taken down. Yeti trying to hold strong over here on the third base, but there's a lot of Hydras coming in. The cannons have gone down. There's one Observer yet again. But there's barely any units now. Is there any Storm? There's Storm. Oh my god, there's going to be a big Storm. No! He doesn't Storm all the Lurkers, but yes, he does. The Storm coming in, that's going to help him clean up this location. The Dragoons over here in the top left-hand base have been cleaned up. But he is going to save his main base for the time being. And Shaylin is doing such a fantastic job in this game. If we check what the Hive Tech is, I think it's going to likely be an Ultralisk Cavern. There's actually no Hive Tech just yet. Shaylin just going full in on units because she knows she's found a weak point in the Protoss defense. The base over here is going to go down. The single Lurker, there is no recompense to this at all. And Shaylin's done it. She's broken the main. There's no way Yeti's holding onto this base now. The cannons in the mineral line of the mined out base are going to save him against the Lurkers for the time being, but it's just not enough. Shaylin has done fantastically, and that's what we're going to go into a game number 5. We're going to be heading to the ace match after this. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to figure out who you think is going to be playing in the ace match.
STPL
And see you guys in
Season
a
3.
sec.
Yeah. STPL DAS. Bio TVP? Wow! No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL DAS. STPL DAS. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid. We got Hydralisks to defend. Yes. STPL. STPL. Fantastic production. Fantastic casters. Fantastic price pool. Only in STPL.
I'm about to overload my aggression inhibitors.
Outstanding. Rock and roll.
Okay, thank you for that 100 bits, Miller. Hey, we're going to be heading into our ace match now. Let's get started. So we have a rematch of game number 3, my favorite game in the series. We're going to be here on Fantasy 2, and it's Terra in the bottom right hand corner, fighting for EF, against Koga in the top left hand corner, fighting for NetWars. Now, by winning the last game in the series, Koga made his win streak against Terran 12 in a row. Is he going to make that 13 in this series, or is Terra going to stop him in his tracks here? This is where we're going to find out. Now, Fantasy 2, if you don't know this map, is a mix of 4 different maps. In the bottom right, where we have Terra, we're on the right of the Valkyrie spawn. And in the top left, we have the Legacy of Char spawn. And it is already kind of late, we're getting a TBT, that is true. But if a TBT between Koga and Terra is not enough to keep you awake, then I don't know what is, because these two play fantastic games against each other. Game 3 was by far, in my opinion, the best game of the series. And I'm so happy we're going to watch these two face off again, because these two are the 2 best Terran players outside of Korea by far. The 2 best foreign Terrans in the STPL by a long way. And just overall, both fantastic players. And it's so good we get to see a rematch. The first ace match of the week as well. And ace matches are always good. Now, we do have a specific ace match here, made by Lucky Noob once again. I don't know. I'm gonna save it though. I'm gonna save it. You guys need to wait for that one. We'll see that next week. We've seen enough cheerfuls today. If you guys want to make any cheerfuls, you don't need any artistic talent whatsoever. You don't need any artistic talent whatsoever. I laugh at the stupidest things. You can put Rapid standing in front of a casting couch and it will make me laugh. I have got such a bad sense of humor. But make it cheerful, support a team, support a player, or if you want to support someone else, do that as well. Support the STPL in general, it's all good. I'll show it off on stream. We've had a couple that aren't from Lucky Noob, but it's mostly Lucky Noob carrying the burden of making all of the things. So if anyone wants to help him out, please feel free. There is a template in that thread where you can add on. Now, we reached TBT and we reached 12 o'clock in Europe and the viewers dropped by 30. Yeah, Bio TBT would not work. It did work once. Boxer beat Higher on Blue Storm with Bio. At least I think Boxer won that game. I seem to remember him winning it. And it's apparently 1 AM where Lucky Noob is. Man, that's rough. Both players not going to be able to scout their opponent. But going for the quicker flyby with his barracks, so he's going to get the quicker scout. 2 factory play coming in here from Terra. So Terra knew he played a long game before, and now he's going to go in for a quick game. He doesn't want to play a long TBT. He wants to get it over and done with. He wants to get revenge on Kogut here, and he wants to give EF their 5th win in Season 3. But let's see if he can do it. Terra gets a scout off on the gas. He sees the number of factories. It is going to be tank first. Marine Medic saying he thinks that hell is watching TBT for an eternity. That's my heaven. If that's hell, send me there. Now it's going to be tanks and vultures coming out here from Terra. He's going to look to do a little bit of a weird timing. He's gone siege first. Now the good thing about this spawn specifically against this from Kogut is you have this ridge here, and if you go for siege tanks as well, which he is, you can actually defend this area relatively easily. But this is going to be tough to hold on to. This is a lot of units coming out from Terra at a time. Kogut scouts it. He sees the units. He knows how many factories there are now. But can he get into a position to hold this? Siege mode is only just now finished. He's going into a Wraith. Now the Wraith is going to be super important. Kogut going for a bunker with his 1 Marine because he needs to delay this push as much as possible for as long as possible because he needs his siege mode finished. Terra still rallying out units. No expansion in sight for him. From the second base is going to be under fire here from Kogut. The gas is going to be forced to relocate. Whoa. The SCVs are going to be forced to relocate, but the Wraith is coming in here. And there's only 2 Marines. There's no bunker. So this Wraith is going to be able to kill the Marines. You need 3 Marines to kill a Wraith. And look at the micro from Kogut as well. Astounding. Not taking any damage on the Wraith. Killing the Marines. And as I say that, cast a curse. Now he could just fight this straight up and win. The fact he's maybe over microing could lose him the engagement, which is not something you want, but there we go. There is an SCV here to repair the tanks. Now there was no armory built or anything like that, so it is just going to be reinforcements of vultures coming in here. Now we really should send a couple of SCVs up. The command center is alive. The tanks are going to be forced to fall back. He landed his barracks to build Marines. And the Marines aren't going to be able to kill the 1 Wraith. Oh my god, he gets the tank. He's going to get all of the SCVs here. And the tank is still surviving against the Wraiths, but this is going to cause some problems. Lots of friendly fire going down by this tank here. Terra getting into the main base as well. Lays some mines at the top of the ramp. Going to make this very difficult to defend against. But Kogut with his Wraiths is doing so much. There is a Vulture attacking the gas mining SCV. He's not going to be able to get any kills before it goes down. Kogut's doing a really good job holding this, but the longer this goes on, the better it's getting for Terra. Like, Kogut is still in the lead. He's still got a supply lead, he's still got an SCV lead. Oh, that's not good. That mine drag was definitely not good. Terra going to lay some mines under the command center as well, which is going to be important, but he's got to deal with 3 Wraiths. The armory is only just now starting, so these Wraiths basically have no counter right now. Oh, he needs to shoot the mine. Oh, nice target firing. So it looks like Kogut's going to be able to hold on here, but Terra's still continuing to put pressure on. He's evened up the supply lead a little bit by killing a couple of extra SCVs. We've actually got... We've got Kogut blocking Terra's expansion as well with the barracks. And the Marine that's popping out is going to stop the SCV building it. That's so funny. But Goliath's going to come out here and save this. Well, that poor Marine didn't live for very long. There we go, we've got 3 Wraiths heading across the map. He needs to repair them, to be fair, but going for the second expansion. Kogut is going to be able to land his expansion again. Looks like this tank did take a mine, so he's going to heal that up. Gas is mining first again. Now there's still a lot of spider mines in the main base, and that is something you need to worry about. Kogut going for the scan. Sorry, yeah, Kogut going for the scan is main. I was going to say if he scans, he'll see that Cloak is on the way, and that's actually a very important thing in this game, because if you remember back to game 3, Kogut killed 2 dropships. No, yeah, Kogut killed 2 dropships and 3 Wraiths with Cloak Wraiths because they came out as a surprise. So that's like super important. If Terra doesn't scout this and the same thing happens again, we're going to end up with the same situation. Now, the last time these 2 players met properly in a tournament was the Corrupted Cup in 2019. And Terra beat Kogut 5 games in a row. It was crazy. He was basically on another plane of existence in TVT that day. But today, Kogut has his number. Kogut with an incredibly good lead. Terra forced into trying to take a hidden expansion. down here in the bottom left-hand base. He can't defend that right now. Admittedly, Koga can't leave his base, so that's why that is defended technically by proxy. But there's Wraiths. You know what Wraiths are good at? They're good at scouting. If they see this base, that's it. Now Terra gonna scan, but he doesn't have Charon boosters yet, so the Wraiths are gonna get away. And that scan energy, he's not gonna get back. And look at this! He pushed him into his expansion. There we go. Terra getting his third scouted. The SCV is going to die before it can finish building the CC as well. And this is just not looking good here for Terra whatsoever. Even losing... Oh, he kills both the Wraiths, which is good. But Koga coming in with a drop in the main base. He's going to be able to lay mines at the top of the ramp. And things are going from bad to worse here for Terra. Like, Koga is doing such a good job in this game. Oh my goodness. Somebody stop this man. Mines going off on the tanks. Everything that could be going wrong here is going wrong. There's no or the SCV does come over and will finish off this third base. But Koga knows about it. He's just going to drop it with tanks most likely. Koga is on top of everything. He knows exactly what's happening at every stage of the game. He's got vision absolutely everywhere now. He knows where Terra's not. He's going to lose his barracks, so he does need to add some additional factories on for now. He is going to go up to 5. He kills the mines, blocking him in his base. And he's going to go for the island again. The parallels from this game compared to game 1 between these two and game 3, it's crazy. Koga is in such a strong position. And how does Terra defend this base? It's a hidden base that got scouted. He's got 2 tanks to his name. Or 4 tanks, but 2 of them are not in the right position. Like, Koga is just going to kill this... Well, he's not going to kill the command center, but it's going to be forced to lift. That's it. With no third base, you don't have the greedy risk of going for an expansion to try and get you back in the game. Now, there is an island base down here that Terra can take, but he doesn't have any starport. He doesn't have any starport units. Koga mined out the minerals. He's going to build a command center over here. And Koga's going to get into a position to defend his base. Now, Terra did a good job here. He split the tanks off from being able to go back home. And he can actually loop around and set up a hard contain. Now, if he can do that, Terra still has a chance. But this is literally one of the final things he can do in this game to try and come back. Armory is not spinning. Let's check the upgrades. 0-0 against 0-0. So, low upgrade play in this game. And I pressed F5 instead of F6. But that's all good. Double starport coming in again. Now, last time Terra did this, it didn't work out. Is he going to be able to do it again? Now, if Terra just secures this here, like if he just goes for a big line here, he secures the top right-hand bases. He doesn't need the bottom left, but he's got the command center there, so he's trying to make use of it. Now, the tanks are in a position now to defend this base. If he can get up on this high ground, this area is not getting broken. But the tanks are just not well positioned here from Terra. And now he's blocked from getting to this bottom left. There's actually a drop coming down in the main of Terra again. Koga's so good in this matchup. And this is... You're seeing the exact reason why this man has a 12-0 win streak in TVT in the STPL. Like, he's looking to get 13 wins in a row against Terran. In a single race versus race matchup, he is ahead of every other player right now. There is no other player with a win streak as long as Koga against a single race in a single matchup. Scan was the highest before this with 11 against Zerg. But Koga is just blowing everyone out of the water in TVT. Like, he goes out against the best Korean Terrans as well, and he does a great job as well, so... I mean, Koga is just really good at TVT now. And look at this, Koga gonna basically bring his units down. He's gonna get into a position to kill this expansion, and Terra does not have a way to defend it. Now, Terra needs to pull these tanks back. He needs to secure this area here, and just expand to the top right. That is the only option he's got, but if he expands up there, he's closer by drop, which means Koga, who already had dropships, is going to have a better time. There's still single mines all over Koga's base. Now Terra's dropships have been scouted. Even the dropship count, even the dropship switch is not going to catch Koga off guard here. He has had perfect vision this entire game, and Terra just hasn't found it out here. Like, he's been doing his best out of a bad situation. A 2-fact that fails does not do much. Now Koga gonna try and push forward because there's no upgrades on the tanks. These tanks are gonna clear everything up, and Koga is gonna hold this position. If he holds this high ground, it's pretty much game over because there is going to be no other gas base that Terra can take. This is a mineral only. This is a mineral only. Like, what are you gonna do? He's even got his tanks on the low ground. He was forced to unload at the worst position he could have unloaded, and Koga is just killing it. Like, I don't know how many more times and how many different ways I can say just how well Koga is doing, but he is completely and utterly annihilated Terra in this game. Like, Terra is going to try and go for some SCV drops to try and clean up these tanks, but he's not even sieging them all. He knows that realistically, he's won the game. Like, he doesn't need to siege the tanks. Siege them one by one. That's it. And as Platypus in the chat says, this is a masterclass of TBT. Now that was a good SCV bomb. That was a ton of damage just been dealt. Looks like Terra is going to be able to hold on to this position. Oh, that mine was good. And he is going to clear up the tanks. There we go. Now we've got Terra trying to expand to the main base, but Koga has just built a command center there, so that isn't going to work out. The CC is in an awful position, and it's 65 supply against 157 right now. The Wraiths still in a position to try and help out, but the Goliaths, there's too many of them. There's literally 2 of them, and that's too many. And man, Koga is such a strong Terran player. Like, Koga doesn't play in solo tournaments as much anymore, I don't think, because he doesn't have too much time. But he always comes out in the STPL and he impresses. There is a damn good reason why this man is 3rd in the ELO rankings in the STPL overall. Like, you can't beat Koga. He's just so good. In STPL rankings, he's the best foreign ranked player. That's it. Like, he may not be Bonneth in terms of win ratio, but... well, in fact, in the STPL he is, but in terms of tournament wins, he may not be Bonneth. But Koga is one of the best players outside of Korea, hands down. There is no doubting that whatsoever. Terra trying to go for a desperation drop into the main base. He doesn't have that many units. His dropships all go down. And look at Koga's positioning. He's already in a position to defend against this. And all of Terra's units go down. GG! Terra taps out. And Koga wins game 5. So let's have a look at the results for that series. Was really cool. We had 2 amazing TBTs in here. Really, really well played by Koga. Terra did well as well, but honestly, just an incredible play by Koga, man. NetWars winning another series, proving why they're so strong in the STPL as well. And EF losing one of their first series this season. So, I mean, it's all looking pretty good for all of our players here. Gosudark taking down Zoom in a very convincing Game 1 victory. Ziggy taking down Cruzago to bring it back 1-1. Koga taking down Terra. Chaylin keeping the dream alive over Yeti, but Koga twisting the knife, taking down the Peruvian powerhouse in game number 5 and winning the series 3-2 to NetWars. So, a massive shout out to our sponsors, Liquipedia, Esport Fund, and Matrino. Really, really thankful to all of you guys for helping out the STPL. A massive thank you as well to the people who've donated on Matrino. Anonymous today raised our prize pool to $2,000. with a massive $697 donation. So huge thank you once again for that. That is absolutely crazy. Now I'm gonna load up the load up the overlay again so we can have a look at the team rankings and then the player rankings to see if it's changed. The team rankings will have done. We've seen the end of week 5, so let's have a quick look at them. Soul Gaming hold on to the top spot with their unbeaten record in the STPL. IRK in 2nd, Valhalla Team in 3rd, Eternal Friends drop to 4th, Red move up to 5th, Rev move down a bit to 6th because they've been overtaken. NetWars move up to 7th. That was an incredibly important win for them. They didn't want to fall too far down the table. Now let's see if that's affected the player rankings whatsoever. Yes, it does. Koga moves over Noob, takes 2nd place in the STPL rankings, and finds himself only 10
Let's spice it
ELO
up.
down on scan. So Koga with a 40 win, 8 loss win ratio, a 15 win, 1 loss ratio against Terran, an incredibly strong player, and just proving so good. Thank you Mullahay for the 500 bits, man, it means a lot. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I'm gonna find someone to raid, and enjoy your weekend everyone. I'll see you on Monday.